Hey, Dudes and Dudettes, Mr. Theorist here, and welcome back to Geeky Archives, the podcast that introduces geekiness into an archive way that I don't
Hopefully
really know.
someone will listen to in the future.
Yeah, well, maybe.
You never know.
Maybe, you never know. Maybe Sim Theory, if it makes enough people aware and this
Yeah.
channel's like
You
blown
never
up.
know. If we get to a Star Trek future, I'll have holograms of us.
Oh god, that's a terrifying notion.
You know you love it.
Alright, so this week we are going to be covering the Norse mythology.
Yep, the Norse mythology.
So,
As everyone knows a bit from the Marvel movies.
yeah, but we've had these discussions and it seems that they've kind of got it right, because even comparing the Marvel stuff to, I don't know, like Assassin's Creed, Valhalla stuff, that had some Norse stuff in that. It's like
some.
Yeah, like there are definitely some distinctions. So,
Yeah.
what would you say? Where's a good place to start with learning
Well,
this?
with what we were saying about Marvel in particular, they like to emphasise the 9 realms.
9 realms. Okay, so that's like Midgard.
Let's see if you get them. Now I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Midgard's Earth.
Yes, right. The way it works, yes, they call them 9 realms because in Norse mythology, it was realms of one world.
Okay, so you could actually travel from one part to the other.
Yes, but not. The lands weren't connected.
Oh, okay. Oh, so, okay. So, sorry, I've just had kind of a thought here. So, would that mean that they imagined it was back when the Earth was
A disc.
What Earth was a disc?
Or that.
Oh my God, guys! Flat Earth confirmed. The Norse mythology used to believe in it.
Well, not exactly a flat Earth, but similar to that theory, where it's all.
Okay, so we'll accept that they didn't know what they were talking about when it came to the Earth, okay? Right? As it's been with many of these mythologies, there are some things that they were right about, and some things that...
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Obviously, the one you said, Midgard.
Yeah, Midgard. Earth. Yeah,
realm of humans.
Okay.
So that's where...
But it all existed...
There's different...
On one plane.
There's different ideas. Some say it's one plane, some say it's different... Like realms, literally.
like dimensions.
So some would say that sort of thing, yeah. So
like a multiverse kind of. Where it would be like on top of each other almost.
Sort of, but they could mingle with each other, but they didn't always know that each other was there.
Oh, okay.
So, again, you mentioned Midgard, only one you could remember, which is fine. The next more common one that I'm shocked you didn't get, Asgard.
Oh, yeah, my brain just couldn't remember what it's called. I know the Viking gods have their realm.
2.
Oh, they've got 2 realms.
Because it's 2 tribes.
Oh, yeah.
3 tribes.
See,
fully.
None of that from Marvel.
Nope.
That's the kind of stuff that Assassin's Creed Valhalla taught me, was that there were multiple tribes.
Yes, and Asgard is the realm of the Azir, which were the warrior gods.
I think Assassin's Creed actually used that same name.
Probably because that's what, in the legends, that's what they are called.
Well, Assassin's Creed likes to be very loose with its mythology, though.
And so the second tribe of gods are the Vanir. And they're the gods and goddesses of fertility and harvest. And their realm is Vanaheim. So you've got 2 different tribes of gods on different areas. Oh, okay, they intermingled, and some of the Vanir went to Asgard, and some of the Azir went to Vanaheim.
Okay.
Because there was a war between those 2.
Oh, okay. So kind of like Romeo and Juliet kind of stuff.
Similar, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I like to keep it. You know, you gotta keep the kids entertained. You gotta have the topical stuff in there.
So another one that I'm surprised you didn't get.
Because you know Shakespeare is so topical
Oh
right
yes,
now.
oh yes. Another one that you should have got because you watch Marvel, Jotunheim.
Yeah, no.
Realm of the Giants, which sometimes were considered gods, sometimes.
Oh, that's
not.
where Loki supposedly comes from, isn't it?
Yes.
The frost giants.
No.
Well, that's what
Giants,
they are in Marvel. They're
yes.
seen as frost giants.
In the mythology, it's just the realm of giants.
Yeah.
So that.
Just make it less complicated, guys. Just make them giants.
Yeah.
Why make them frost giants? Just so you can make them blue.
Another one that's mentioned in Marvel, but they do it wrong. They say it's the land of the Dark Elves, which in some sagas they're called Dark Elves, some not. Which is Svartal. Sorry, might butcher these. Svartalfheim.
Yeah. Sounds like you got something in your throat, mate. Do you want to clear it? Try again.
It's hard to say. Which is the realm of the dwarves.
Okay.
And they are the ones who made the weapons for the gods. So Gungnir, which is Odin's spear, Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and amongst others.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In Marvel,
they did kind of do it, didn't they? Because they had
Yeah.
that.
But they called it
Peter
Nidavellir.
Dinklage being a giant.
Yeah, a giant dwarf. Yeah, that was called Nidavellir.
Yeah.
Another one is Alfheim, home of the Light Elves, which is where a lot of magic comes from. So like the runes that we used were sometimes connected.
Wow, you can see where D&D's taking a lot of its inspiration from.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Norse, it's the mythology stuff, man. It sounds so cool. We should make a video.
Yeah, and
we should make games out of this.
So there's 3 more. 2 of them were the first planets in existence. Well, first realms in existence.
Yeah.
Which is Niflheim.
That one sounds good.
Which is the realm of fog and mist.
Ooh.
And then Muspelheim, which was mentioned in Thor Ragnarok. It's where Thor is at the beginning of the film. The land of the realm of fire.
Oh, that's where the dude Marvel was destined. But this I know is very wrong. Is in Marvel he's known to destroy.
No, that's.
Is that actually what happens? Oh, so Ragnarok more seen as.
Surtur is part of Ragnarok.
Oh, is he?
He's the destroyer of Asgard. Yeah, he is the sworn enemy of the Aesir, and he is the destroyer of Asgard. So they got that bit right.
That's cool.
And then the last one, which is interesting, is Helheim.
Is that hell? It's a cold place, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
The underworld.
Spelled with only one L as well.
Yep.
See, I do know some stuff. Some stuff I remember from my days of being a Viking.
And that is ruled over by Hel.
Hel, yeah.
The daughter of Loki.
Yeah, spelled with one Hel.
Yep.
Which Marvel got wrong because they said
put
that.
Hela.
Yeah, and said that was the daughter of Odin.
Oh, Marvel got it very wrong with that. Loki is not is not Thor's brother, not even adopted. He's Odin's blood brother.
Blood brother?
Basically, it was a sworn promise and a sworn oath. Even though Odin knew of Ragnarok and what part Loki would play, he kept him aside sometimes, because sometimes he was an ally to the gods, sometimes he wasn't. Because he was, if I remember rightly, I think he is. Yeah, he's actually descended from the giants. I mean, a lot of the gods are, but he's more direct.
But didn't you say that the frost giants and the giants were the same people?
So you're
Marvel called it frost giants.
It's very, very similar.
So Marvel did get that bit right then about making him a giant then, because they say he's a frost giant, but the frost giants are replacements for giants.
In some sagas say he is a giant, some say he is half giant, half god. So one of his parents was a giant, one of his parents was a god.
Oh, well, they took one of the versions.
Yeah. So they're the 9 realms. And now you said about Helheim being the realm of the dead. There's 3.
What?
You have Helheim, which is everyone knows about.
So there isn't 9 realms then?
No, there's 9 realms.
There's 11 realms.
No, there's 9 realms, but there's the other 2 are areas in another realm. So I'll explain more when we get.
You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like that Pirates of the Caribbean. What's the third one called again?
Oh, yeah.
Not
Stranger Tides.
Is that the third one? Is that name of
On
the
Stranger
third one?
Tides, I think.
No, that's the fourth one.
No,
isn't it?
at World's End.
World's End, that's it. Yeah, you know when they're doing the pieces of 8 and they realise that
Yeah,
and
they're
they
not
go
actually pieces of 8.
It's not actually 8, 9. It's 9 pieces of whatever we had in our pocket at the
Yeah.
time. That's what it sounds like. It's like we got the 9 realms. It's like, yeah, we've got these other 2. I agree.
Well, no.
Oh yeah, but because they're technically part of these other things.
Yes, because
we
they're
just-
areas in the realms. They're not realms themselves. They're areas within the realms. I'll explain.
But they're also defined as their own thing, though.
No, this is where it gets it wrong as well. I'll explain it, don't worry.
Sounds like a lot of bullshit
So-
to me.
Helheim is the Vikings saw it as if they died of old age, which wasn't a worthy death,
That sucks.
they would go to Helheim. Or some saw it as it was the realm of the dishonoured dead. So if they died without honour or doing something dishonourable,
No wonder people thought the Vikings were like these super aggressive kind of people, because it seems like they would get to a point where it's like, oh my god, I'm 40 years old, I'm going to die soon. I need to just randomly go and start a fight with someone and die,
Yep.
because that's the only honourable thing to happen for me gods.
the other one, everyone knows about, Valhalla, which is a hall in Asgard.
Oh, but it's not Asgard's hall. It's hall in Asgard.
Yes, because it's Odin's hall, because all the gods have a hall. So every soul that is in the world, well, every god has a hall, and they can host things. And Odin's hall is where 1/3 of the dead go. So say there's been a fight.
So what? He's guaranteed 1/3 of the dead to go to his hall.
Yes. Because he has the Valkyries come and pick them up.
Sounds like he kind of ripped his sister himself. He's like, this is mine, right? And I
Yeah,
get
but
1/3 of them. Even though there's like a bunch of us. I get
Freya's
1/3.
just as bad. Because she gets another third.
Because the rest of the gods have got to share 1/3 of it all.
No, because the third goes to Helheim.
Oh, so none of the gods get anything else. Oh, that's
No,
nice.
because it's the 3 rulers. Hel, the ruler of Helheim. Odin, the ruler of Asgard and Valhalla. And then the third one, is in Vanaheim. It's Folkvagner, which is the hall of Freya, where 1/3 goes. So the 3 rulers are Hel, Odin, and Freya. But see what I mean with those two? They are halls within a realm.
Yeah. Okay. So they're not their own place, guys. They're not their own realm. They're just a different aspect of calling part of the realm they're in anyway.
Yeah, it's just they've got special names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that's the 9 realms. Now, I know.
Sorry, I still feel like that meme needs to just be posted. 9 pieces or wherever the hell we have in our pocket at the time.
Yeah. Oh, very piratey.
Alright, cool.
So we've got the 9 realms. How about I tell you how this all started?
Oh, go on then. This is what
Another
we've been
creation
enjoying so
story.
far. Yeah, this is what we've been enjoying so far. The drug-tripped
Oh.
hallucinogenics of all the
Oh,
followers of these gods.
Oh well, especially the berserkers and the Ulfhedna. Both of them, they
We
took
have no
mushrooms.
idea how the world got made, but I ate some mushrooms the other day, and now I'm convinced I know.
Well, no, a lot of them they ate the mushrooms and went batshit crazy and fought in battle.
Ooh.
No, that's what a lot of them did. The berserkers and the Ulfhedna, they before a battle, they would eat hallucinogenic mushrooms
Cool.
to literally get them into a blood frenzy. Battle
See, guys,
rage.
we need to stop villainising all these bikers and wrestlers that are taking stims before a match. Our ancestors were doing it before battle and it was okay. Like,
Well, they each the berserkers and the Ulfhedna had their own ranks as well. So you'd have the normal army, and then you'd have the berserkers. And the berserkers were usually the ones who went in first. And they would wear bear skins for the berserkers, or wolf skins for the Ulfhedna, because it was the bear warriors, wolf warriors, and so they would go into battle with them skins on.
So if you saw anyone dressed like that, you'd be like, no.
Yeah, you'd be like, over there, not me, I'm dead. Well, to be honest, most Vikings in battle wouldn't be like that because there'd be berserkers on either side.
Oh.
So it would literally just be.
Would they be fighting among themselves much?
Oh yeah, the different clans. Yeah.
So did like okay, we're just gonna have a genuine history. I don't know if you know much about this in the history itself. Like is that the kind of thing that would happen when they came over here? Like obviously we know Vikings came over here.
It would have been one possible, what you could say, village of people exploring and trading. There was no centralised thing to begin with. You had the Thanes and the Jarls and the Earls, but even then they were separate. They had their own area.
Oh yeah. Valhalla's kind of shown us that.
Yeah, and they would be at war. Each village would be at war with each other sometimes, or they go raiding into other villages.
Yeah.
But then obviously once they were unified under the first king of Norway, that's when it became more of a bigger thing.
See, this is the cool shit of history. I was never learnt any of this in school. Oh, I hate school. I was a dumbass when I first came out of it. Right, anyway,
well,
so
most of this I've learned. I've done my own research.
Right, we're going to do a creation story.
Yep.
Let's see.
You know how much you love them.
Oh,
they are interesting.
They definitely sound like people being like, we need to come up with the most complex, drug-induced reason as to why we are here.
That explains everything.
Yeah. Which, props to them, it's better than some of the stuff our ancestors have come up with. There's a guy, he kind of more clapped his hands or clapped something and a bang happened. And
clapped his cheeks. And
then it created all this garden and this animals and stuff, and then was just like, okay, what's next? Oh, we're gonna create a man. Oh, the man's upset. Alright, we're gonna rip your rib off. We're gonna turn a woman into it.
Wrong.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's a lot of the older stuff that I don't know. There's the whole Lilith thing.
Yes.
She comes from something, doesn't she?
She was created at the same time as Adam.
Anyway, we're going into
we'll do that at another point.
Come on,
because that plays into demonology that I'll be talking about.
Give us some Viking origin story.
Same with the Greeks. Everything was chaos. It was a void to begin with. There was a void in the middle, and then there was two of the realms that I've mentioned before. Niflheim, the realm of fog and mist, and Muspelheim, the realm of fire, were at either side. So one was on the left, one was on the right.
Yeah.
So you got those two realms. They were the first two realms. So fire and ice. And then in the void, in the middle bit, where the fire and ice met, drops started forming, and then they slowly, as they started collecting, they then grew into the first being, Ymir, which is spelt with a Y. And then once he was created, he fell asleep.
As you do.
Yeah.
As you do. You go, oh, I'm born now.
Yeah.
Night.
Well, typical babies, you should know.
True.
They sleep a lot, but
I wish mine would sleep a lot, but it really bloody does it.
Yeah. But as he was asleep, the first beings were created from him. Various different aspects. From his left armpit, there was born a male and a female. But then he then gave a son was born from his leg. Yeah.
What is it with religion and birthing us from other people's limbs?
It gets weirder.
if you say that someone came out of someone's certain area, I'm gonna lose it.
You mean like Aphrodite in the Greek?
Oh yeah, it's true. What was it? His balls?
His balls fell into the ocean and she rose up.
The ocean. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, so you've got to be on a drug trip to come up with. My balls fell in the ocean and a woman fell out of it. What?
So, obviously, the one from the day became the first giant.
Yeah.
Then Thor and Froster was still building up there. Came the immortal cow.
Sorry, I know this is like legit trying to be like me learning something. Guy came out of someone else's leg and
an
immortal cow.
Yep, who was born from more of the Thor and Frost.
Sorry, this is someone's legit religion. I shouldn't be laughing about this. That's not nice.
But some bits of it are...
So an immortal cow, sorry, go back.
Who fed Ymir, the first being, with her milk.
Okay.
While she was feeding him, she was licking at a salty ice block. And then once she'd got... it was a slow process that happening, and from that rock, the first Azea was born. Whose name was
out of
Birdie.
the salty rock that was licked by the immortal cow.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to... I'm trying to make
You're
sure
trying
I know what I'm
to...
talking
Yes,
about.
yes, you are right there. It's hard to say without it. Yeah. Yes.
It's unique. I'll give it that.
Oh, the creation story for the Norse is very interesting.
Scandinavians, right? Dude, you guys, you knew what to come up with, guys. Like, wow. Oh my god! Right, okay.
So
Somebody came out of the
after 3 days,
cow. Yeah.
Buri was born.
Boring.
Odin's grandfather.
Right. Okay. I'm following this. Kinda.
So once he was free, there's not much then known of that, but then he had a son called Bor, Odin's father. Bor then married a giant because the giants had bred as well.
So would their realm just kind of appear? Have they got realms at this point, or is it just these fire and ice realms? And people
There's not much saying when Asgard came to be or Vanaheim came to be. There's not much.
Really? Yeah.
It's mainly about how Midgard came to be.
Sounds very selfish, that does.
The story of creation is about the creation of Midgard.
Sounds like all these ancient tribes that are meant to be our ancestors, our creators, they were hiding them. They were telling us about where they came from. What were they not telling us?
Yeah, and then, like I said, Bor, who married a giant and had 3 kids.
Right.
Odin, Vili, and V. So the first.
So they did like an amazing name like Odin.
Yeah, and then Vili.
And then went Vili. Yeah, that's kind of unique. It's very different from Odin. What's next? V. That's just lazy.
Spelt V-E.
Definitely. Sorry to say this of me, and I really hope they're not upset from this. You sound like you were in Athens. Sorry.
And then Odin, Vili, and V killed Ymir, the first being. So even though kind of that's their ancestor, they killed him.
Sounds like gods have a big problem with their ancestors and just wanted to straight up murder them a lot.
And this is where, do you know how I've mentioned it can get a bit gruesome if you actually think about it? This is the bit. So after they killed him, they set about using his body to create Midgard.
Right.
Yep. So his blood became the oceans. His bones became the mountains.
Okay.
His muscles and skin became the soil.
Nice.
His hair became vegetation. So we're eating his hair. His skull became the sky, which is held up by 4 dwarves at 4 cardinal points.
I'm guessing they're invisible.
Well, that's like at the edge of it. Right at the edge where no one can go.
Oh, you mean like space as well and all that stuff then?
Well, because back then they didn't know so much about space.
Yeah.
It would have been just
sky, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And they probably wouldn't have explored all of the planets. So.
And people like looking at clouds, don't they? Well, that's Amir's brains.
Pretty brains. Clearly, this god was made out of some sterner stuff than fleshy stuff.
Oh yeah. And then the actual land of Midgard is made from his eyelashes.
All right.
Yep.
Pretty eyelashes though.
So that's basically how Midgard came to be.
From God's eyelashes.
From God's body parts, yeah.
That was killed by his grandkids.
Great-grandkids.
Great-grandkids.
Yep.
Because why the hell not?
Yep, exactly. Right, and earlier I said it diverts at points. Because obviously there's multiple sagas from the Viking Age.
Yep.
There's different stories. One of them is it doesn't go into much detail of how he was created, but
can I ask before we go any further? The other ones we've learned about so far, they've kind of like given a purpose for everything and a god associated with a purpose of everything.
The Norse have that in some respect, but not to the level the Greeks did.
So we don't kind of have like Odin, the god of such and such, such and such, such and such.
Oh yeah, no, yes, there are gods of certain things.
Okay.
And that's what they are, but there's not for everything, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
So one of them is a man has. It never mentions whether it's a giant or a god or whatever, but has two children who, for some unknown reason, they shone. So bright, they emitted a bright light.
So a dude went and had sex with something and made a couple of children. They shone.
Yep, and they were named Mani and Sol. Moon and Sun, respectively. So they became them, and the gods were furious.
So before this man went off and did something,
there wasn't much light.
But all this stuff happened.
Yeah.
The creation of Midgard and
But
and
it's not. It's never said how. It's never stated how long.
They don't even have a chronicle of what order all this stuff happened.
No. So this could have been happening at the same time as.
Sorry, Scandinavians, but this is lazy writing. This is I want to learn the lore of all these different religions, and you just got some lazy ass writing. Lazy, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Your characters are in depth. There's some great lore here, but the continuity is lazy. How can I write you all into sim theory if you are lazy?
Diversity.
What?
Diversity. That'll help you.
What?
Never mind. And so the gods were furious that he'd had these kids, so they put him to work in the sky.
As you do.
Yep. The other version is a giant, so one of the giants that we spoke about from Jotunheim. A giant named Norvi has a daughter.
Okay.
Called Not, meaning
Night.
So like the Greeks, night gave birth to day. Because Not then had a son called Dagger. I think I'm saying that right. Which means day.
Cool.
But instead of these shining brightly, they pulled chariots that pulled the sun and moon.
Okay, so you're saying there's two variations. Did they explain why there's variations?
Different sagas. Coming from different areas, different beliefs.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's from. That's what I mean. There's two different sagas. Well, I've just picked two. There could be multiple others, but there's different sagas because a lot of this culture is what is considered somewhat Germanic culture, but there was also Scandinavian. There was like Norwegian. All the various ones had slightly different variations. Some of it was similar, but there was slight different variations. So yeah, that's what I mean. It's an interesting one because it's quite open. In some areas there's more, some areas there's less. So
they all kind of like agree on an origin thing, but
somewhat there's slight differences.
So like when we said at the beginning about the immortal cow and all that, is that agreed as like
from what
kind of the basis?
From what like I've read and what I've researched, I've not seen much, if any.
So kind of like
difference.
There's the different elements of Christianity that exist now, where everyone kind of agrees on the concept of God, but then there's a lot of variations on what happened, because
what happened
and the messages that you should follow.
And with like we were saying earlier about Adam and Eve and Lilith, some would say it was just Adam and Eve. Some would say it was Adam and Lilith, then Eve came along after.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So that makes sense then. Yeah. I guess with a religion that spans across so much,
and obviously because we're not
it?
living in them times, we can only base it off what's been found out, what's been discovered. And so obviously with those two deviations it then comes back together with the point of it being the sun and moon as they're going across the sky, whether it's the gods themselves or chariots, they're being chased by two wolves constantly. Okay. And these wolves are children of Fenrir.
That's the wolf that is the
child of Loki. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the wolves is Skog, who is the wolf that chases the sun, and Hati, who is the wolf that chases the moon.
Do they like wolves?
Yes, wolves and ravens. Hence why a lot of symbolism for them are wolves and ravens, because Odin has two wolves and two ravens, which I'll get to either later in this video.
Are they the same wolves and ravens that chase the wolves through the sky?
No, different wolves. Different wolves completely.
You could have typed that all in into a cool little thing.
And so obviously the land of Midgard was made.
Yeah.
All of that. And then from two logs the first humans were created.
Well, they give it a go. They give it a go. And what our origin point was.
Yeah, so Odin, Vili and V found two logs, and from them they created the first humans.
They carved this out of the wood. Is that what
Some say yes, that we were carved from the trees. So we are descended from that first being, because Midgard was created from the first being. So it's all linked. And Odin gave humanity spirit and life.
Oh, cheers, Odin.
Vili gave us understanding and the power of movement.
Thank you, Billy.
And V gave us clothing and names.
Thank you, V.
So basically each one of the three brothers gave something to humanity.
Cool. And
the first humans were Ask and Embala, which literally mean man and woman.
Okay, born at the same time.
Yep.
Start.
Yeah, literally. Created from two separate logs, so they are individuals, but they're the same. Yeah, because a lot of Viking culture, they saw women as equals, but also superior in certain things.
But I know
we spoke about it before.
Your wife held the
money,
held the keys to the meat cupboard as well.
Yes, and
your wife controlled how much alcohol you had.
Oh yes.
If you were going to get drunk, she was going to make sure you were allowed to get drunk first.
Yeah, and also women dealt with money.
Yeah.
because
men stupid. We just bash things in head.
no, they thought money and things like maths was witchcraft.
Well, at least they treat each other very equally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And obviously, it's never been proven as of yet, but there are some legends of the what's it? Shield maidens.
Oh, female
warriors.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's never been proven right or wrong, but there are some historical evidence that somewhat proves it. So it's like, did it happen?
Well, if they see their women as equal.
Yeah.
And a woman was just like,
I want to fight.
Look, I don't want a husband. I want to fight.
Oh no!
Like,
a lot of the shield maidens were married as well.
No.
It wasn't a thing where once they started fighting.
I guess if our kids are gonna lose one parent, we might as well lose both parents. I guess.
The way they saw it.
Fair.
But in their culture, if you died in battle, you went to Valhalla.
Yeah.
And
so your kids would just be like, well,
they're
I've got to die in battle and I'll see him again. It's fine.
Exactly. And that was a big aim for them, especially. Well, the thing is, people say Vikings, but that literally was just a job.
Yeah.
It was that was just a job. Viking was the job of raiding, attacking. That's what they were. A lot of them were farmers, or you had thanes, or earls, or lawmakers and lawgivers. So Viking was just a job.
If you had a society where everyone had a reason to exist.
Yes. Oh yeah. And a lot of it, and there was various. Well, I mean, talking about society, they had multiple different ways of dealing with crimes as well. One of them that I find interesting is Hungang, if I remember rightly. Yeah, Hungang. Basically, trial by combat.
Hey.
And
how we should go back to.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, it was with Hungang, literally, it was if you had a grievance with someone, or you accused someone of misleading you with something, mis-selling you something, or stealing from you, you could challenge them. And they had to answer within 3 days.
Or what? You could just go in their home and kill them?
No, they would be they would be disgraced, because they would be seen as you did do it wrong, and you'd be kicked out of the village, branded. So it didn't happen that often, but it was reserved for certain things.
Yeah, I bet to begin with.
There was probably illegal ones.
I reckon probably for a while
because
it happened.
From what I've read, what would happen is the person would lay down the challenge, the person would accept, and then in the village common area or in a field, there'd be a circle. Depended, but say a circle of like.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
9 foot.
I did Vikings, so.
Yeah. So there would be the two competitors in there. No one else was allowed to step in that ring. No one else until it was either win by death or win by yield. So until one of those happened, no one was allowed to step in that.
See,
ring.
I understand the logic behind the trial by combat thing, but the unfortunate thing is the person who was actually in the right
could be stronger, or the one who could be weaker. Sorry.
Yeah, and therefore lose the fight, and therefore innocence correctness did not prevail in that situation.
No, it wasn't always the best thing. But obviously, and within the home gang, you had, if I remember rightly, it was you had a sword, an axe, and 2 shields. If your shield broke, you could call for another one to be given to you. Once that broke, you had no more. And same with the sword and the axe. If one of them got broke and you caught the other, you then had no other weapon. So if you lost all of that, you were at the person's mercy. But yeah, it's an interesting concept that's worked in some aspects, doesn't work in others.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you think of that creation story?
I think it had a bit more pizzazz than the others did. But
Yeah.
it always seems to be that the only way that we can all be created is by a bunch of gods murdering some other god or a bunch of other gods in order for us to be born. It's such a, to be honest, that's quite a nihilistic approach to like our creation. Like,
Yep.
the way we are born is through violence.
Through death.
basically. Death and violence.
Yep. So, obviously, I mentioned some of the beings.
Yeah, let's do a quick nice run through of
Beings, yeah. So,
how many do you have?
I mean, I've got a fair few because obviously you got the 2 tribes.
Yeah, let's go over the 2 tribes.
Yep. So we'll do the Azir first. So
Is this the one that Odin's part of?
Yes, these are the warrior gods.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with Odin, the All-Father. He is the god of wisdom, magic, divination, death, war, and poetry. So
Nice mix of things there.
yeah, and one of the stories is how Odin lost his eye. Was for knowledge.
See, Assassin's Creed does something similar.
And he hung himself from the branches of Yggdrasil, which is the world tree,
Yeah.
for 9 days to learn the magic of the runes. So when he wanted knowledge, he would do things that he would do anything for knowledge, basically.
Oh, so he was kind of like a jack of all trades, kind of like.
Yeah, sort of.
Instead of having servants to go and do stuff for him, he kind of went out.
Oh no, he still had
himself.
servants that did stuff for him, but he would go out and do things, and he was said to wander the earth. He would wander Midgard.
Assassin's Creed actually got that quite well done then with the Odin segments.
The next one that everyone knows.
Oh! Son of Odin,
Yes.
god of thunder and lightning
Yep.
and all that pizzazz.
Storms. He was also the god of strength and bravery. Sacred groves, trees, and also he was the protector of Midgard.
That makes sense.
So, obviously with the Marvel movies, they cut down some of his realm. What's the word?
That makes
Spheres
sense.
of influence.
Yeah, that makes sense why Odin never punished him when he started going back to Midgard constantly.
He was the protector of Midgard.
Yeah, he just took up his mantle, didn't he?
Yep.
Protector of Midgard.
And the next one, I'm gonna put him with the Azir, but he's not an Azir.
Loki?
Yep.
He's a giant.
Yep. Literally, he's a Jotun, blood brother of Odin, sometimes allied to the Azir. Sometimes.
But he's the god of trickery.
Yep. Mischief, magic, fire, serpents, and stories. He's also the father of lies.
He's also the father of
Oh.
lots of children as well.
We'll get to that at another point. We'll get to that one at another point. The next one is Frigg.
Isn't that the wife of Odin?
Yes. Yeah, you know some.
I
You
know
know
some stuff. I do know some stuff.
Yep. She's the goddess of marriage, fertility, family, and hearth.
Okay.
So basically, keeping the home warm, the family, bringing everyone up. That was hers.
Nah, it's like mother.
Yeah.
All father and all mother.
Well, she wasn't called All Mother, but she was
She
the wife
was.
of the All Father. Yeah. The next one is also in the Marvel movies. Sif.
Ah, that was like the girlfriend of Thor? Wife of Thor?
Wife.
Wife of Thor.
Yep. Goddess of the earth, fertility, harvest, abundance, crops, and grain.
Sounds like a pretty cool god.
Yeah, so she was basically the goddess of agriculture.
Hey!
So,
She helped keep us alive.
yep. Right, these next ones. Well, I'll do one more that you will know because of Marvel. See if you can guess.
Sorry, Thor's never really interested me as far as Marvel and stuff.
Heimdall.
Oh, yeah, it's so good.
gods.
The one that had the cool...
The guardian of the Bifrost.
Yeah, the one that everyone suggested own the soul stone side of himself.
That was only because of something you said. But yeah.
His eyes were yellow as well. Same colour as the soul stone.
But yeah, so
Makes
he's the
sense.
guardian of the Bifrost. And also he's the guardian of Asgard. So anyone that tried to attack Asgard would face Heimdall first.
Sword dude.
And again, playing into with what you're saying, god of surveillance.
Yeah.
So they did actually some of the gods, the
Who
gods
built
that they chose.
Did Odin build the Bifrost then?
It's never actually stated who created the Bifrost. I don't think, but I would actually no. I think I read somewhere that Odin created the Bifrost to link Asgard and Midgard. But the way the 9 realms sit, they all sit on the world tree and are all connected by the world tree. So you could go from one realm to another via the tree. It was a perilous journey.
Yeah.
And because there was creatures all over the world tree, which we'll go into at another point. Because there's a lot of creatures to do with the mythology as well.
Okay. Well, why don't we cover them after we've done the 2 major tribes?
Yeah. So the next one is Idun, who is the goddess of spring and eternal youth. So this is where the Norse mythology deviates from a lot of other mythologies.
Okay.
The gods were not immortal.
Oh yeah, they're more like...
They could die. But they were eternally youthful and long-lived because of the golden apples of Idun.
Apple symmetry again.
Yep. The next one you might know of from... because you obviously you play Assassin's Creed, they do a lot more, is Baldur.
Baldur. Oh, isn't that the one that that's Fenrir's friend?
No, that's Tyr.
Is that Tyr?
So Baldur is the god of light, peace, spring, forgiveness, and purity.
Yeah, I don't think Baldur was a major player.
Oh, so he wasn't. That's fine. The next one you will love. Forseti,
Yep.
the god of justice and reconciliation, was a pacifist.
Stacy's got that.
Yeah. So as we go on with the Azir, the one you just spoke about, Tyr, the god of war, courage, and jewels. Also, keeper of law and justice.
Makes sense why he was trying to be so honest with the whole Fenrir thing.
We'll get to that because I have got the story of the binding of Fenrir wrote down.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll go over that.
Another one. Anyone out there, possibly I'm butchering these.
Don't forgive him.
Hania.
Ania.
A lesser known one. God of indecision, avoidance, and mystery.
That's why no one knows about it. Because everyone's just like, oh, they've come to the party again. They stand there for an hour trying to decide what drink to have. Ugh.
Yep. The next one is the Bard.
The Bard.
Yep. Bragi, god of music, wisdom, and eloquence.
How's that spelled?
Well, Bragi. B-R-A-G-I. Could be Bragi, depending.
See, I think when we go over Kingdom Hearts, you'll enjoy a lot of this because it sounds like a lot of the because Baldur, that name was used.
Yes.
In Kingdom Hearts. Brig is the name of a character in it.
Yeah.
And he's quite a prominent character. What? Talk about him. Sorry.
So which one?
Bragi.
Bragi is god of music, wisdom, and eloquence. He's the bard. He is. He's the bard of the Azir.
Okay.
So he's the one who sings the stories, tells the tales.
Yeah.
The next one, Ulla. god of glory, hunting, and skiing. The next one is Skadi, goddess of hunting, skiing, winter, and mountains.
Skiing?
Skiing. Yes.
The Vikings were fucking skiers.
They lived in Norway, Finland, Denmark.
Yeah, but I thought
Sweden.
skiing was more of a modernised thing.
No. They were doing it in prehistory.
Right. Shows you how much I know.
The next one, Nana.
Nana.
I could be butchering that, but the goddess of joy and peace.
That's definitely something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Here's one that you might recognise the name. Hoda.
Not like Hodor.
Sort of. The god of winter and darkness. Something interesting to me is he's blind.
Oh.
He's the blind god.
I wonder if there was any kind of inspiration for Game of Thrones.
Who knows? I mean, Game of Thrones pulled from a lot of British history. George R.R. Martin has said that. Not just British, but a lot of where there was monarchies.
His map is basically an over-exaggeration of
Oh, you take Ireland, flip it on top of Scotland, and you've got Westeros. The next one is, well, the next two, sorry, are the sons of Thor. Magni and Modi. Magni is the god of bravery. Modi is the god of strength. So they each had a slight aspect from their father.
Oh, sweet. Different crap names though, Maddie.
Yeah,
and Maddie.
I know. Another one is Vidar. You possibly would like. God of vengeance.
Vengeance.
Yep. So.
Because Batman's got those.
Yep. The next two we mentioned earlier. Vili and V, the brothers of Odin.
Yeah.
Vili is the god of thought and emotions. V is the god of senses and expressions.
Aww.
Another one is Sigyn, goddess of fidelity, loyalty, compassion, and victory. So quite a well-rounded one. Pardon me. And another one we can talk about, because you were talking about Balder, who is the one who was, you said, was also the one who was killed by Loki with the mistletoe. Because you know that story.
Interesting. I'm starting to think, now listening to some of this and comparing it to Kingdom Hearts stuff, starting to suspect that maybe a certain character everyone's been thinking might have a different, might have Loki's role in all of this. Like sometimes a friend, sometimes an enemy.
Well, the
he's
story
like
about
the blood brother of Odin, who's like the head of this whole group. Like,
it's interesting how much you look at the various things and
Odin gave up an eye for knowledge. Yeah.
So, as we were saying, the story of Balder. Basically, he was the perfect child.
Yeah.
Frigg loved him. She wanted him to live forever and never die. So she went around the world making everything promise never to kill her son.
Oh yeah, apart from mistletoe, wasn't it?
But she missed the mistletoe.
Yeah. And
Loki being Loki, always watching, looking out, trying to find her, then found out what it was and used the mistletoe to kill Balder.
Yeah.
Now the next god is Vali, who is the Avenger of Balder.
Uh-oh.
So
Bye,
he is constantly after Loki for what he did. So that's some of the Azir. There are others, but it does go on a bit. Not as much.
Okay.
So the Vanilla.
Well, we can leave.
I can leave the
rest
Vanilla.
of them. And,
You want to know about the creatures, don't you?
You know about the creatures, and also like if there's any of those other ones, I think people can put in the comments if they wanna know more specific about some of the other tribes and stuff.
Well, the other tribe, there isn't as many. There isn't. Nowhere near as many as... And most of them people wouldn't know.
So, like, do you know, like, the...
Most people focus on the Azir, the warriors.
Yeah, but you know, like, obviously you've got all the different realms.
Mm-hmm.
Do all of the realms have a tribe?
Yeah, not tribe, but there are different peoples in different realms.
Yeah.
So you've got, obviously, Midgard, realm of humans.
Yeah.
But Asgard, realm of the Azir. Vanaheim, realm of the Vanir. So
Yeah.
the two tribes have got there. Jotunheim, realm of the Jotun, the giants.
Do the giants not have like a group of? Are they never specified into their own smaller sections? Like
Not really, no. Because a lot of the time they're intermingled with the Azir and the Vanir.
Oh, okay.
Because some of the gods are children of an Azir and a Jotun, or a Vanir and a Jotun.
Oh, okay.
So they are linked, they're just not named as much. And so, obviously, some of the ones I mentioned, they don't really come into a classification of tribe.
Okay.
Like Sol, Mani, Hel, Not,
Yeah.
Dagger. The ones that kind of just do their own thing. I know what we can talk about, because I just mentioned the sun and moon. The two wolves you were wondering about. Hati and Skull.
Yeah.
So, Hati is... sorry, the wolf that devours the sun.
Okay.
And this happens at Ragnarok.
Ah, okay.
Hati is also called the one who hates. Skull is the one who mocks. So they were constantly in battle with the sun and moon trying to devour them.
Okay.
But so, and you asked about, are they Odin's wolves? No. Those two are sons of Fenrir. So Hati and Skull are sons of Fenrir.
Okay.
The other two wolves, Odin's wolves, are Geri and Freki, which is basically is voracious and greedy, respectively. And you were saying about wolves and ravens earlier.
Yeah.
Odin's ravens, Hugin and Munin, Thought and Memory. And you actually see them in
So,
the Avengers movie.
Hang on. So Odin has like specifications for his ravens and for his wolves. Yet the frost giants, they don't all get their own specifications.
No, there's not much. There's some of them named, but not many.
Wow. You can see who got favoritism.
And another one, well, sometimes it's a dog, sometimes it's a wolf, is Garm.
God.
Yep, the guardian of Helheim. So basically guards the gates to hell.
Oh, okay. Because people want to get into hell so badly. They haven't got to put a guardian.
Well, obviously they were quite warrior-like, so there was always fights. And especially between the realms, not so much Midgard, but say the Azir against Hel.
Oh, okay.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I know you're wanting to ask about the children of Loki.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, come on. I want to talk about
what
all
do
these
you
really,
know?
really... Well, I know that there is
Obviously,
Fenrir.
Yep, and we covered one.
Who is the wolf?
Yep, the wolf of Ragnarok.
And that's... one thing I don't know about is the other half of the parentage. I know it's Loki's kids.
Is a giant, Angrboda.
Okay, and I know that there's the serpent,
Jormungandr.
who encompasses the entire of Midgard.
Yep, the world serpent, who will rise at Ragnarok and battle Thor.
Yeah, I know that. And
There's one
she
more.
is
Well,
the
this-
horse.
Yes, there's the horse.
And that's the one that is...
That's the one you're curious about.
Isn't that the one where Loki is actually the mother in that situation?
Yes. 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 Hel, Fenrir, and Jormungandr are children of Loki and Angrboda. Sleipnir, who is the horse, is an 8-legged horse.
Because it couldn't just be a normal 4-legged
Who is
horse.
actually ridden by Odin. Sleipnir is Odin's horse because it
Gods
was
just didn't care, did they? They just didn't care.
Loki gifted Sleipnir to Odin.
Aww.
But yeah,
He's
no.
gifted his child.
Yes. Yeah, so what you're on about, yes. That story goes that, yes, Loki is the mother of the horse.
Yeah. Because Loki's gender fluid, isn't he?
He's gender fluid, he can shapeshift, he can become whatever.
Oh, did you hear that? Gender fluidity was all the way back when
I know.
the Norse people were talking about
Yep.
their gods.
They didn't have a name for it, but they had ones that were like that. But yeah. So
they had a god that didn't give a shit if it was male or female.
Yep.
Just like, I don't care.
I'll be whatever I want. So yeah, he shapeshifted into a horse and came across a stallion. And yep.
One thing led to another.
And Sleipnir was born.
I feel like this is like a warning to fairies. Like,
or are you just expecting the candid camera in the corner?
No. It's like, it feels like a warning to fairies. Like, you can keep doing your thing, just don't get so silly that you go off into the wilderness.
Yep.
Because you might end up birthing, like, I don't know, a fox or something.
Yep. Who knows?
Loki.
Yeah.
The icon for the transgender and furry community.
A lot of mischief, definitely.
Loki is the icon for the LGBT.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, doesn't care about his gender, doesn't care about sexuality.
Oh no,
just
if he wants
so
it, he
far
wants
on the
it.
fringe that will actually turn into an animal and
Yep.
have sex with them.
Yep. Well, I mean, as we covered in the Greek one, Zeus did that once.
Yeah, Zeus did it too.
Yep. Who knows? God say.
Does that mean that genuinely our society will get to a point with bestiality? It's just one of those, like more just fringy things.
Who knows? And you and I are going to be thinking about that, aren't you?
No, I'm just really curious because if you look at how much society has evolved and how much we are accepting of things that we always tabooed. Well, modern society was tabooed for so long, and our older cultures were maybe not
More
quite
open.
normalising it, but like it wasn't seen as
It was part of their story.
Yeah, it's like, well, we've seen how society rotates back on itself over time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, are we gonna get to a point where there's dudes that feel like they are proper relationships with their fellow donkeys? like that's gonna be even less of a freaky thing.
Who knows?
Anyway, let's move on.
Yep. And something else to speak about is another similarity with Greek. The Fates.
The three women that like
The Norns in Norse mythology.
The what?
The Norns.
Norns.
Yep.
Still a tapestry or something, isn't it?
It's not as... They controlled destiny, but not in the way like the Greeks did.
Because I know that in Assassin's Creed, they're the ones that warn Odin of Ragnarok.
Yes, because that's where prophecy comes from. The Norns.
Okay.
So you've got three of them. You got the past. You got present, future, and fate.
Past, you don't mean anything. So.
Well, no, because at this time, the gods were still there, and they could tell the stories.
Oh. So the gods are dead, but the past is.
Well, when we get to speak about Ragnarok, it's the end of the gods, but not the end of the world.
Yeah. This is the end of like the god's reign on the planet, isn't it?
Yes. Again, if I mispronounce these, I am sorry.
Butcher him in the comments section.
So you've got Erd, Verdandi, and Skull.
Hang on, that is a direct name used in Kingdom Hearts. Again, it's Skull. S-K-U-L-D. It is! They are literally pulling from this mythology. Because they even have like Ragnarok moments and stuff. Oh my god. I know. Anyone out there that is a Kingdom Hearts fan and is listening to this, I am stating it now that Lushu is Loki. Lushu is Loki.
Sort of fits with the name as well.
When we explain Kingdom Hearts, we'll go through it and you'll probably see what I mean by it. Like,
oh no, different games and things pull from multiple different cultures.
They are definitely pulling a lot from
the Norse
mythology.
Yeah. So the other tribe of gods that we're going to talk about is one of them we've mentioned, Freya.
Freya, yeah.
Who is the lady of Folkvagner. She is the goddess of beauty, love, fertility, gold, war, death, and sorcery.
Oh.
So another one that is quite versatile. And again, as I said earlier, she gets to pick a third of humanity when they die.
Cool. I want to go to her.
Her hall.
She sounds like her hall will be nice.
The way they see it is Asgard is this golden hall.
Yeah.
With long benches, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Folkvagner is a hall, yes, but the roof is a Viking longship. It's in the middle of a massive field, and there's nature all around. So you've got waterfalls, rivers, forests, so everything.
Yeah.
And then you have her brother, who is the Lord of Alfheim. Sorry, not Alfheim, Vanaheim, I think. One of the two. He is the god of summer, sunshine, rain, prosperity, peace, and happiness. So as you can see from the beginning, the Vanir are more of a peaceful tribe.
Yeah. They've got more of the happy side of things.
Yes. Then you have Njord, the god of sea, winds, wealth, and fishing.
Cool.
So quite a
like the opposite of the agriculture god, really, isn't it?
Yeah, quite an important god as well, because a lot of the people who lived in the Viking Age were farmers or fishermen.
Yeah.
So
most of them knew how to use a boat.
Oh yeah, most of them knew exactly how to use a boat. Another one is Nerthus, the goddess of fertility, harvest, lakes, sacred waters, and revenge. So again, a slightly more peaceful one. This one is an interesting one. I think I'm saying it right. Gulveig.
Gulveig.
Yep. The goddess of alchemy and witchcraft. Is called the thrice reborn. She was reborn 3 times. So she was murdered and reborn 3 times.
So very different to all the other gods then?
Yes. The other ones, yeah. Here's what we were saying earlier about how the tribes intermixed.
Yeah.
This one is Fjolnir.
Fjolnir.
Yep. Think of Mjolnir
with an F.
Very similar. He's never mentioned what he's a god of, but he is half Vanir, half Jotun.
Jotun, that's a giant.
Yes. So he's half god, half giant.
Oh, kind of like Loki.
It depends on which story you believe. Because some say Loki is pure Jotun, some say he's a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this one is named as half god, half giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the other ones Yep, we've mentioned. Yep. So.
Alright, let's talk about the Fenrir stuff and then Ragnarok.
The binding of Fenrir?
Yeah,
yep.
I think that'd be a nice way to wrap this all
up.
Yeah,
because that's fine. We can cover it all in one. Yeah, so obviously, let's see what you know, because we have spoke a bit before, and some of what you know.
Assassin's Creed told us was that Odin gets told that a wolf's going to kill him at Ragnarok.
Yep.
He gets really obsessed. He finds a wolf. He thinks it's the right wolf. He then gets someone to find this magical chain. The chain gets made. He then gets Tyr to help him hold Fenrir down by putting his hand in Fenrir's mouth while Odin puts the chain over. And Fenrir's like, okay, I won't bite down as long as this is a legit thing. Odin's like, yeah, this is no worries. Chains up Fenrir. Fenrir's like, hey! Bites into Tyr's hand, but then locks Fenrir. That's probably a very loose interpretation of the story.
But actually, pretty close to the story,
cool.
if not almost exact.
Oh, cool.
So yes, so obviously Fenrir was a child of Loki.
Yeah.
He was born of Loki. So when he was born, they heard a prophecy that Fenrir would be the death of Odin.
Right.
This is where it slightly deviates from what you said. So Odin actually chose to keep Fenrir on Asgard to begin with.
Well, in the story we had, originally he was trying to just find a way to kill Fenrir initially, but then was convinced by Tyr not to kill Fenrir, and that's why they decided to lock him up instead. Lock them up instead.
Sort of, but so they kept him on Asgard, hoping that'd keep him on their side.
Yeah.
But Tyr was the only one of the gods who wasn't scared to go near him.
Yeah, that was also in the thing.
And also, Fenrir trusted Tyr.
Yeah, that was why.
Yep.
He thought it was okay for Tyr to put his hand in his mouth and everything, and he felt like he
Tyr wouldn't lie to him.
Yeah.
Obviously, then Fenrir grew too large, and the gods knew they had to do something.
Yeah. They
had to stop what was going to happen.
Self-fulfilling prophecies.
So, this is where it deviates from that, because I don't know the full thing, but the chain of Gungnir was not the first of the bindings that they tried. They tried multiple bindings to bind him, but they actually lied to Fenrir, saying it was a test of his strength. They wanted to see.
I remember that being said.
They wanted to see him to prove how strong he was by breaking all these chains.
I think that happened, but I'm not 100% sure.
So each time he broke them, each time he broke a chain, they cheered and clapped as if he'd done something good. But they were actually like, shit, we need another chain. We need to try and bind him, because they knew what was to come.
Yeah.
So, knowing that they couldn't actually get a chain, they decided to talk to the dwarves.
Yeah.
Who were the miners, the forgers, they made things.
Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that you go to the Dwarven Kingdom and you collect some things for them.
Yep.
Yes, I remember that.
So the dwarves forged the chains of Gleipnir.
Yeah.
Now, they were made from 6 impossible things. And 6 things that are missing in the world now.
Okay, and what are they?
The sound of a cat's footfall. Because when cats walk, you don't hear them. Unless the floorboards creak, you don't actually hear their foot touch the floor.
There's probably a sciencey reason for that, but that is cool.
The beard of a woman. And that's how they distinguish why men have beards and women don't.
What? That explains so much of our culture. That's why. It's because the bloody... They tried to keep Fenrir down, and that's why. There are so many people who feel like they're missing something.
Yep.
They took women's beards away!
The roots of mountains. Because you don't see the roots of mountains. There is no roots of mountains.
Chris, rocks doesn't have roots!
But at the time, they didn't know that.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
This is great.
The sinews of bears, so that gut feeling of being scared that a lot of animals have, bears don't have it. Hence, going back to the berserkers, why they saw bears as a fearsome animal.
I love it. I'm laughing, but I'm loving it.
The next two are brilliant.
If you say unicorn, I swear.
No unicorns.
I swear, if you go like, that's why unicorns don't exist anymore. They took the unicorn horns off them and they just became horses.
Nope. The breath of the fishers.
That's why they had to evolve to get gills.
Yep.
They used to be just like us until they took
this
it away
one
from them.
Is an interesting one. The spittle of birds.
Do birds not spittle?
No.
Huh.
So 6 impossible things, or things that are no longer in the world, were used to make the chains of Gleipnir. And because they were seen...
God. You know conspiracy theorists field day with this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so those 6 impossible things were forged together to make the chains of Gleipnir.
Only gods be able to forge.
Yep, no, dwarves, sorry.
Dwarves, well, they're gods though, really, aren't they? They're seen as the higher beings to ourselves, to the humans, so...
Not higher, just different.
Yeah. But they're more evolved beings than us. They're not sapiens like we would be.
Sort of, yeah. No, the way they saw it, you had... The main, hierarchy was the Azir, the Vanir, and the Jotun.
Yeah.
The dwarves and elves were sort of on the same level as us. They could do different things, but they were on the same level as us.
Right, okay. Okay, so they have no excuse for being able to merge breath, spit,
root, sinews, hair, and the sound.
And sound. Because you know...
Yeah, but they made Gungnir and Mjolnir.
It's true alpha males. Only real alpha males can screw around with alchemy that much.
Yeah. So, obviously, they made the chains, gave it to the gods.
Yep.
But this time, Fenrir was a bit suspicious because he was like, these are different to all the ones they've tried before.
Yeah. Ooh, he knew. He knew, guys.
And he refused to, even though it was only a challenge to test his strength, he refused to be bound by them unless one of the gods put their hand in his mouth.
He knew.
Literally, as a pledge of good faith.
And Tyr does it.
Well, to begin with, none of the gods want to do it. They don't want to, because they know it's a trap.
Yeah.
They know they're doing it to bind him. But then Tyr finally says, yes, I'll do it. So he puts his hand in the mouth. The chains are put over him, and he can't break them. So, at that point, as with what you were saying, he bites Tyr's hand off.
Yep.
But he is now bound, and them chains will only break at Ragnarok. So he is stuck with them chains. But the chains break at Ragnarok because they are slowly weakened over time by humanity. Because Fenrir can feed off things like fear and worry.
Fenrir is like the devil in this mythology.
Sort of, yeah. He can
Okay.
feed off that, and using that he gets stronger and stronger, and the chains get weaker and weaker.
Falling weaker and weaker. Sorry, I'm gonna break into a boy band.
Neither of us can sing.
No. We ain't got Sarah here.
Just to make it sound better with us. So that's the binding of Fenrir and the chains.
So we have all the cool stuff happen through all that, and then Fenrir comes along.
Different stories.
So then eventually Fenrir comes along and like, oh no, this is the god that we've.
This is the wolf of prophecy.
This is the one we're worried about. So they go through the thing,
Binding.
bind the wolf,
Yep.
and then over time,
Things just
mankind carries on, mankind develops.
Fenrir keeps growing and growing and growing.
Eventually snaps, and then we get into
At Ragnarok, that is when the chains will snap.
Okay, so Ragnarok just happened.
No, but it's not the first part of Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
So Ragnarok will actually start with a terrible winter known as Fimbulmenta, which is literally like the dead winter. Almost like in Game of Thrones.
I'm literally going to say Game of Thrones.
With the White Walkers coming, that sort of winter that lasts forever.
Yeah.
And then it literally starts with 3 of them happening consecutively.
Interesting, because if you think about that actually historically, like there was a great ice age that took place.
But that was
before the Great Reset, and humanity then carried on as we become right now. That don't want to speculate conspiracy and stuff, but that's really interesting.
Yep. So 3 of them winters will fall consecutively with no break.
Oof.
So
yeah, that's the ice age. That's the straight up ice age.
And at that point, the wolves we mentioned, Hati and Skull, will devour the sun and moon. They'll finally catch up to them and devour. And so the world's plunged into darkness. Mountains will shake, trees will be uprooted, chaos.
Basically, the world goes to
Yep.
shit.
Literally. One thing I forgot to mention is, because obviously Loki is such a treacherous god, at one point, Odin had had enough and all that, and he bound Loki.
Okay.
You might know it. You've probably seen the picture where Loki is strung up, and there's a snake dripping venom down, and there's a woman holding a bowl.
No.
Basically, as a punishment
for Baldur's death.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, it was because of Baldur's death. Odin strung him up and put a snake above him that leaked venom onto him as torture.
No.
But Loki's wife stayed with him and held a bowl under the snake so the venom wouldn't hit Loki.
See, that's quite interesting with the whole Loki being bound into an Aryan torch, because in Assassin's Creed, part of the lore of the overarching story and everything is obviously it uses part of ancient mythology, but it creates a continuation. Yeah. And the vessel of the reincarnated Loki actually ends up in this underground bunker and gets impaled by a machine, or kind of grabbed by a machine and strung up and suspended in animation until modern times.
So yeah, playing along the side.
Yeah. Okay, I can see. It's interesting even more. That like the more I know about this, like I'm able to look more at the stuff that happens in Assassin's Creed and be like, huh.
They actually did their research.
Yeah.
And so when all that chaos ensues, at that point, when the chaos is at its peak, Fenrir will break free.
Uh-oh.
Loki will break free.
Uh-oh.
Jormungandr will rise from the ocean, causing a tsunami.
Uh-oh.
So basically, Loki and his kids cause hell.
They could actually be building up to that in Assassin's Creed, because a lot of that they were kind of referencing as well.
So obviously, at that point, Loki, Fenrir, and Jormungandr, seeing all this chaos, the Bifrost's been destroyed. Seeing this chaos, the giants rise up and join Loki.
Uh-oh.
So, and not just the giants of Jotunheim, Surtur, the Bane of Asgard, will join the fight.
See, in Marvel, they didn't really have a fight. They just kind of had Surtur turn up and just plunge his sword into Asgard, and Hela just stood there and went, no!
Yeah. Yep. And so, once all that's happened and it's chaos, you've got the 2 factions, and all-out war. The War of the Gods begins.
Yep.
So it begins with Heimdall blowing the great horn, alerting the gods that Ragnarok is here.
Yep.
So during the battle, Odin will battle Fenrir, killing each other.
Oh, killing each other? Oh,
yeah. Both of them die. Thor would battle Jormungandr, the world serpent.
Okay.
Thor will kill Jormungandr, thinking he's won and survived, despite the prophecy. But in truth, Jormungandr had bit Thor, poisoning him.
Oh no!
So,
do you think that's how Marvel's going to kill off Thor in the Marvel cinematic?
Who knows?
We're going to find out that as part of being Kang, that there's this ancient serpent that his father put there, and he's going to have to fight it for some sort of power and die in the process.
Who knows?
Giving his power over to whoever the new teen Thor character, because obviously they're both the new Avengers, aren't they? Young Avengers.
Yeah.
In Marvel cinematic. So, Love. Have you seen Love and Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Love will probably be the Thor, but will need to inherit Thor's abilities.
Yes.
First. So there you go, Marvel. There's a story for you. Get some MacGuffin talent serpent thing and have it infect Thor and kill Thor off.
So the next one, Freya. Right, there's a little story to tell you before that makes sense with this.
Okay.
So Freya obviously we said he was the god of summer. His weapon is called the Sword of Summer.
Okay.
But he loses it. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's either stolen from him or he loses it in a fight.
Okay.
Surtur gains hold of this sword.
Now, is that the same sword he uses that you would say would be the same sword he plunges into Asgard in the Marvel stuff then?
Yes.
Okay.
But in the fight, Surtur kills Freya with his own sword.
Oh no!
So but the thing is as well, one thing to note is the sword is sentient.
Oh. Wow.
It's semi-sentient.
That sucks.
But yeah, so Tyr gets killed by his own sword. No, sorry, Freya. Freya will die. Tyr, the one-handed god, will battle Garn, the wolf who guards hell.
Yeah.
And Heimdall will fight Loki.
Huh.
And in this, all of these will die.
Well, they just kill each other.
Yeah, basically the war ends.
Wow, none of them were great in a fight. They just all kill each other.
So, literally, once the battle's done and the fires have burnt out,
everybody's dead.
The world will, not everybody, the world will be reborn. The world's reborn.
Yeah.
And so there's 4 gods that survive.
Yep.
You have Vidar and Vali, the two sons of Odin.
Yeah.
You will also have Magni and Modi, the 2 sons of Thor.
Yeah.
So they are the 4 that will see the rebirth. Huh? So Magni and Modi are strength and bravery.
Okay.
So obviously there'll be all the strength that will still be in the world. And then Vidar is the god of vengeance.
Okay.
So that could be an interesting one.
Yeah.
And Vali is the avenger of Balder.
Okay. I was trying to see if maybe like the gods that survived, that they survived and therefore legitimized.
No, because while they're there, also Balder and Hoda will rise from Niflheim, because obviously Balder's dead.
Yeah.
Hodor's blind.
Yeah.
So they rise from Niflheim. So there's 6 gods left. Also, the daughter of Sol, who is the sun, will rise because she was born just before Ragnarok started.
Yeah.
She will rise and take her mother's position, and so the sun will rise again. And then, so all that, and the world will be repopulated because 2 humans were kept safe in Yggdrasil.
The world serpent.
World tree.
Oh no, the world tree. Yeah, the big tree.
Yes, the big tree that connects the 9 realms.
Yep.
And basically, these 2 people will repopulate the
Adam
world.
and Eve, basically.
So yeah.
There's no way that our population came from two people. The diversity we needed to keep our race alive. It wouldn't.
Yeah. Well.
It's always a nice idea, but yeah.
So that's the story of Ragnarok.
Wow. It's a bit more exciting than some of the other ones, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, from what I've learned from my research, a lot of religions that have a creation story, not near so many have a end of the world story.
Christianity does.
Obviously, the Norse have a big one that everyone knows.
Yeah.
The Egyptians don't have a story, but they do say how the world will end.
Yeah.
And again, it with the Egyptians, it's the sun being swallowed.
This is interesting because theoretically that is how our world will probably end.
With the sun.
Will be when the sun finally dies.
Yeah.
In whichever capacity it dies, if it's either implodes or explodes.
Whichever, yeah.
Yeah. Which you could say in a way that is non-scientific and people are examining that idea would be something devouring the sun. Yeah. Especially if it implodes in itself, it could look like
it's being
which again
swallowed
that
in.
leads interest, like those kind of thoughts though lead interesting into like that the dude we keep talking about from the Netflix series. We talk about how maybe all these older religions have the stories in them. That maybe there's more legitimacy to these older races or these other tribes that have the knowledge. Because listening to some of the stuff there, like if most of this existed back then as well, it's like they have actual legit reasons for a bunch of things. How would we know about those things?
Yeah. And with what you were saying about knowledge, and one being that I forgot to mention is Mimir, who was one of the first beings. Never really explained where he came from, but he is the guardian of the Well of Knowledge, which is at the bottom of Yggdrasil. So when we said Odin sacrificed an eye for knowledge, it was in the Well of Mimir.
That happens in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
That's when he gets the how he creates his potion for his what's the word for it? Reincarnation stuff that he uses for his inner circle of gods.
Yeah. So that is based in some truth. Odin sacrificed his eye.
I definitely need to finish off these Assassin's Creeds to kind of go over some of the lore. Now I know more of the actual lore of the.
So obviously that, and we were talking about the creatures earlier.
Yep.
There is also creatures that roam around on Yggdrasil.
Okay.
So there are three that are linked together. You have the hawk at the top of the tree. So he oversees all. He sees it all. Almost done. We then have the dragon at the bottom of the tree.
Yay, dragons!
And those two are constantly at war with each other. Yeah. So that's what causes the tree to shake. So.
The tree shakes?
Yeah. And it shakes the realms that are connected to it.
Oh, was that how they describe earthquakes?
Yeah.
Is the dragon,
the two beings at war.
Go to war?
Well, no, they were constantly at war.
Oh, okay.
And then, so they are named. The hawk is Verdfolnir, and the dragon is Nidhogg. Now, the third one of that trio is a squirrel.
Yeah.
That constantly runs up and down the tree, stoking the fire between the two. So he is constantly.
I said it before, I say it again. Dude, you guys were creative. your mythology is creative.
And the squirrel
Trolly
was...
squirrels.
Yep.
Like
Ratatosk.
What?
Ratatosk.
Ratatosk.
Yep.
Ratatosk the trolly squirrel.
Yep. Literally, he kept that feud going. And then you have 4 wild stags. that roam the tree as well.
Right.
So I'm not even going to try and say their names because they are awkward.
Go on.
You have Dor, which is D-A-W, not too bad. Dvalin, Dunir, and Durathor.
So that wasn't too bad, was it? Yes, it sounded right.
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
butchered them too badly,
No,
actually.
to be honest, from what I've learned, some of the...
That was just an ego stroke, wasn't it? You all day yesterday.
Oh, no.
I just pretend to don't know these.
No, they are easier than some of the other names.
Oh.
They are, so...
Oh yeah, well they add vowels and consonants in places that they don't need to be.
Well, according to our language. Saying that, someone else...
Ours is hard enough as to say.
Something that is interesting, saying about language,
Yeah.
is some of the way we speak and the way we say things comes from the Norse.
Of course it is. Like our culture today is influenced by French. It's influenced.
The days of the week
Yeah.
are Norse.
Yeah. That I knew that.
You have Monday, Manny's Day, which was the day of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday is Tyr's Day.
Yeah.
Wednesday is Odin's Day,
Yeah.
more commonly known as Woden's Day.
Thursday is obviously Thor Day.
Thor's Day, yep. Friday is Frey.
Frey.
Frey or Frey and Frey.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Brother and sister, aren't they?
Yes.
Frey.
Saturday, Saturn's Day. Yes, that's a Greek one, but it is also considered the day of Loki. And Sunday,
Sun's Day.
yeah, is the day of the sun.
Yeah. I knew that about days of the week. I remember learning that actually in school.
Yes, you learn that in school. But yeah, a lot of traditions come from Viking culture.
Oh, it's one of the old ones.
It is one of the older ones.
Britain is nothing but an amalgamation of old cultures. We were invaded so often for a while.
Well, we invaded and got invaded by so many.
I mean, it does almost feel like we got for so long we were invaded, and then we were like, no, we are the evil empire. We shall invade everyone.
That didn't sound British.
I'm sorry, but we were not very nice people during those times. Sorry if I sounded like a Nazi, but let's be honest, the British
careful
Empire...
how you say that. You might get cancelled.
Ooh! Sorry if that triggers anyone. Jesus.
Yeah,
sorry,
it didn't help.
sorry, if someone is a Nazi, they're a Nazi.
Yeah. But yeah, saying that actually ties a bit with Norse mythology because they took some symbols from the Norse.
Yeah,
and bastardised them.
you actually notice it in because my uncle was pointing this out to me because he watches a lot of anime these days.
Yeah.
The anime, you notice there's a lot of German and Japanese culture that's constantly intermingled with itself.
The thing is, the Nazis took it from all over the world. One of the big ones is a swastika. It's actually a religious symbol.
Hindu.
Well, not just Hindu, there's multiple ones that have it.
Well, they
Mongolians
they
use
took
it.
they took the symbol for it's either love or hope or something, isn't it? And they basically flipped it upside down. Because the original swastika symbol for the original cultures, it was
slightly different.
Yeah, it's twisted a different way to
Yeah.
how the Nazis.
But yeah, and literally they bastardised so many symbols.
Well, what do you expect of them? They're Nazis.
True. True. So
Do I dare say like the only good Nazi is a dead Nazi?
no, it's true. It's true. So now you know it. What do you think? I said it was an interesting one.
My brain enjoyed the fun stuff.
Yeah, still processing the weird stuff.
It's an interesting one that we are made of wood.
Yep.
I guess we've bred out of that over time.
Yeah.
I guess it's similar to that.
But when you consider it, Midgard was made from a god. So strictly speaking...
Yeah, but that's land, right? That's not...
No, everything. The whole of Midgard.
Apart from us, though.
apart from us.
Yeah. But then again, yeah, obviously wood would be made from the god, therefore we are still connected to God then, aren't we?
Yep. Well,
we're still connected to all the gods, including the god that was used to create us out of its bits.
Yep. Like I said, it's an interesting and slightly gruesome.
Oh, that's great.
Especially when you think about going swimming in the ocean.
It's alright, don't dip your balls in too much. You might create Aphrodite's again.
Who knows?
I think that's an interesting place to end that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, in my years of researching this and studying it, it is very interesting. Sometimes you're a bit like, wait, what? But sometimes you're like, oh no, yeah, I like that.
See, to me, that's why like these stories must come from somewhere. Because when you have things that are so obscene as the immortal cow
licking a salt
rock,
and a god appears,
and a god came out of it.
And while she's doing that, she's feeding another god off her milk.
Like, we couldn't even create fanfic that interesting until recent years.
Well,
Like,
well, look at Greek. That is fan. Most of that's fanfic.
Anyway, I think we're going to end it there.
Yep.
Thank you very much, guys, for listening in to another random Geeky Archive podcast.
Mythology edition. Because I warned you before we started all this. Mythology is a rabbit hole.
That's why we intermingle it with some silly movies.
Problem is, even then, you can see, you've seen my reactions when you're talking about things.
Yep.
Good thing the viewers, the listeners can't. But yeah, literally, people pull so much from mythology. Even other religions pull from various religions.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't look anywhere at things, well, for me, and not see historical references.
It's why I always find it weird that those people that want religion to be like their main focus, their main existence, they're not willing to also accept that maybe their religion isn't a fundamental origin point, that it's actually a development of older faiths. Like, if you're willing to be that and be like, oh yeah, my faith is a development of older faiths,
because when you look at
that's fair.
Think about it in this respect. Like you mentioned when we were talking about the story of Ragnarok, there was then 2 humans who repopulated the world.
Yeah.
Could the Norse mythology be the precursor to the Christian faith?
Yeah. If Christianity was willing to go, yeah, look,
well,
maybe the divine
happen.
being that we call God, maybe it is one of the remnants of the others, and the Adam and Eve characters, we call them Adam and Eve, but actually they were the
Leaf and I have got.
Dude, you know what we're doing, right? I've done sim theory. We're gonna do religion theory next. We're gonna combine all the religions into a grander story taking place.
Yeah, so you have Lith and Lithrasin were the 2 humans.
Dude, this is what we should do. We are so gonna create like a lore timeline of.
Oh mate, I create my own religions.
And we're gonna end there before I start bursting into song.
Yeah, because no one wants to hear that.
Anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. We will quit rambling now and
Yep.
let you guys go back to your normal lives.
That's normal.
Thank you very much, Draven, for joining us again and giving us another
interesting mythology insight.
Mind-boggling insight into some other fantastical notions of how our world came down.
Yep. Well, and the thing is, it's different people's religions.
Yeah.
It is an interesting topic.
It is.
So even I'm still learning things.
Exactly. So, until the next video, guys.
It's goodbye from me.
And from me. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.